remember you from the application video, but let's check if you're the one I remember. The one with a lot of experiences. That's you, right?
Yeah, I think
With
so.
the pictures in the video?
Oh yes, yes, yes. I
Yeah,
tried
yeah,
to
yeah.
edit. I
I
tried to
remember.
make it
I
as
was
fun as possible, as
yeah.
much as possible. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I remember. I'm the one who also checks the videos.
Oh
Okay.
yes, thank you.
So I'm the one who replied to you. Okay. So before we begin, of course, I will give you an overview of what's going to happen in
Okay.
20 minutes or so. Okay. So basically, the interview will be divided into two parts. The first part is a very typical question and answer part. Nothing different from the other interviews, probably. And then for the part two, we will have a simple English test, just to test your answering ability in English when it comes to being under pressure. So very simple as well. Okay. So, of course, we would like to know more about you, Teacher Gio. So, can you
Yes.
please tell me something about yourself and your experiences, especially the ones that are related in the ESL industry? Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I started my career in 2001. That was in Bangkok, Thailand. I actually lived there for 6 years. So I was an ESL teacher.
Mm-hmm.
I also taught maths and science
Mm-hmm.
to elementary students, and I taught in two schools in Bangkok, and so that was from 2001 till 2001, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, to 2007. And then I came back here in the Philippines,
Mm-hmm.
and then I managed my family business. And then I went back to Dubai, and then I came back here just in 2000. I think that was in 2015. In
Mm-hmm.
2015, yeah, I came back here in the Philippines. And well, online teaching. My first experience with online teaching was in the later part of 2019 in December. And yes, in December, I was hired. Well, I worked with Akatsock for a week. Yeah, I think you've heard a lot of reviews about the company. So,
Yeah.
well, because of those those things happening that are not
Mm-hmm.
really good, so I left the company after a week. So it kind of like something like a training ground for me to
Mm-hmm.
have it's just a simple a grasp of the what ESL online really is because my
Mm-hmm.
background is in the real classroom setting.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, I was hired by UTalk Philippines, and UTalk
Mm-hmm.
is an audio class,
Mm.
and it's very convenient, it's audio class, and
Yes.
then yeah, I think that's just about it. And my background in online teaching is not really that much, but
Mm-hmm.
I can definitely teach because
Mm-hmm.
spending six
Mm-hmm.
years teaching in a real classroom setting in
Mm-hmm.
Thailand, and that is actually where I practice teaching English to non-native speakers of English. And well, also in teaching, I also teach voice. I'm also a voice coach actually. So the language
Yeah,
that I use
you're the
there,
one. I remember your video. Yeah.
so the language I usually use is English. So in a way,
Mm,
I'm using English as a second language to teach the
mm,
students.
mm. So, what made you pursue uh, like shifting to
Oh my
distance
God,
learning
yeah.
from direct learning? Yeah.
What do you mean? Right now,
Like,
an online teaching.
yeah, yeah. Like your experience is mostly live, personal,
Yes,
personal
yes.
live.
Well,
Yeah.
it's a real
So.
classroom setting, and then well, that was a long time ago, so
Mm-hmm.
6 years, and then I came back here in 2015, and then
Mm-hmm.
basically, my background is business.
Mm-hmm.
So apart from that, we have a performing arts studio which I teach voice lessons to kids. So actually, right now, because of the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
I it's really sad, to if I will, tell you all about it because my
Yeah.
business went down because of the pandemic.
I'm sorry to
And
hear that.
yes, and the performing arts we cannot function anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So well, luckily I had an experience. I was hired by UTalk. That was during the lockdown, and the experience actually the online teaching is very different. It's very
Mm-hmm.
different, and um, the shift, well, it's not really a shift, but it's not. I would say that it's. I had no choice.
Yeah,
I had no
totally
choice,
understandable.
but I have to. It's instead of fighting against the tide. This is what I usually say.
Mm,
Instead of fighting against the tide, I have to
mm,
work with the tide.
mm,
And learn how to swim and not
mm,
drown on it. So in the future I might be able to build a boat. Sometimes things like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, now, yeah, people are stripped away of normalcy, so they tend to like
Mhm.
you have to actually ride the waves. That's true.
Yeah, it's really
But
sad. What happened to me.
mm,
I don't want to cry because until now I still feel sad about it. Because
hmm.
that's how life is now.
Yeah, and I hope everything goes better from here to next week.
With Didi Tutor, working with you guys, I hope it will be okay.
Hopefully, yes, yes. Okay, teacher. So you honestly, you said that you don't really have a very long experience in online teaching, but
Mhm.
what do you think is your particular strength? Maybe not just in online teaching, but like in teaching in general. What is your strength
Well,
that you're proud of? Yeah.
one thing that I learned, well, in my years of teaching, 5 years, I learned
Mm-hmm.
to be very patient. I learned to be very understanding to the students, and it's different. It's different if you teach somebody who is not really able to speak the language.
Mm-hmm.
There are times that you just want to shout because you cannot go across to the student because the students don't understand you.
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, I learned to be patient. I learned to become so understanding to the student as well. And one thing about online teaching as well is I learned to be committed to the schedule given to me. That is my strength because I'm the type of person who is really on time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like tardiness. I'm 40 years old. I'm really old. Not really old.
Mm-hmm.
In my years of working, and I learned to be punctual. I learned to be right on time.
Yeah, and that's what all Filipinos should actually be more mindful of, I think. It's
Yeah.
true, especially in this industry, because
Yes.
we always have to be on the dot.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, so of course, this might be very predictable, but can you please tell me about one particular weakness that might hinder you from delivering well in
Oh my
classes?
God. Number one, I can say a lot of things. Number
Mm-hmm.
one is the internet connection, because with the internet
Mm-hmm.
connection we have here in the Philippines is, well, it's so it's so not at par with the internet speed compared with other countries. The second
Yes.
is power outages. Well, I have actually bought a power backup with me, and this one will not last for 5 hours. I think this will last for only 4 hours, but I think it will
Mm-hmm.
do if I have a class when suddenly the power interruption comes in.
Mm-hmm.
And what else? The noise around me.
Which
Uh,
part of the Philippines are you from,
I
teacher?
am from Tagum City, Davao,
Oh, Davao. Okay, okay.
Duterte.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes. The noises around me actually my neighbors are actually really noisy, but luckily I have this headset that has a noise cancellation.
I
And
don't hear it. Yeah.
probably next after maybe at the end of this month, I'm going back to my old house because I want
Mm-hmm.
to set up a real office there
Mm-hmm.
that is not really noisy, because
Mm-hmm.
my old house there is not as noisy as here. Well, there's not really noise right there, so I want to go back there soon.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, so for the last two questions, I will be giving you situations, teacher, and you just respond the way you would in class. So
Okay.
if you've experienced it in the past, then it's better. If not, just imagine yourself in that situation.
Okay.
Okay, number one. What would you do if you encounter a student who has zero level of English knowledge? How would you handle that class?
I will use simple instructions as much as possible, and I will use present tense, because, well, in
Mm,
because they will understand future tenses, like instructions like, how will you do this. I will try to use present tense because that is
mm,
what I learned in teaching, encountering beginner students. Um, Also TPR, yeah, TPR,
mm.
yeah, I have to use TPR as much as possible.
Okay, so the second situation is just very simple. It's the opposite of the first one. So, what would you do if you encounter a student who thinks that they're already very good? Teacher, I'm already advanced. What can you teach me?
Well, if they think and they really pride themselves that they are really good at the language, then, well, I might just talk to them the usual, like the
Mm-hmm.
usual level. I mean the usual, like what we're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to make sure that I'm still the one handling the class. There would always be a boundary between us, that I will not be a level with them,
Mm-hmm.
like a friend level, something like that. Yeah, there should be a teacher-student relationship between us.
That's very, very important. And I think you've also learned that through your years in classroom setting.
Exactly.
That's very
Yes.
much,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yes.
No matter how you know students, you can't just be
Mm-hmm.
super friendly with them.
Yes.
Okay, so that will be the end of our question and answer part. So I will be sending a link, teacher, on your chat box, and
Okay.
it will be a link to the
Oops.
what is this English test.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
why? Okay,
You have 10
so
seconds to scan through the power. Okay. Should
yeah,
I scan this now?
yeah. Usually I read it again, but it's okay. So if you've already read it, I will just give you 10 seconds and then just read after it. I will tell you if it's finished. So 10 seconds starts now.
Oh wait. Should I read the tongue twister now?
Not yet.
Oh,
Just
okay.
prepare.
Oh, all right.
10 seconds.
Okay. I hate tongue twisters.
Okay, that would be it. It's okay. I don't like it too. Okay, you may begin.
Okay. Silly Sally swiftly shooed seven silly sheep. The seven silly sheep silly Sally shoot. Shilly shallied south. These sheep shouldn't sleep in a shack. Sheep should sleep in a shed. Through three cheese trees, three free fleas flew. While these fleas flew, freezy breeze blew, sorry. Freezy breeze made these three trees freeze. Freezy trees made these trees cheese freeze. That's what made these three free fleas sneeze. Oh, I hate this one.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, me too. Actually, let's not waste our time trying to understand it. It's just to actually, what do you call this? Just common mistakes of us Filipinos. We have problems with SH and Fs, so it's
Yes,
just
yes.
to test the standard. We don't need the native
Mm,
pronunciation because we're not native, so we
yes,
just need
exactly.
that. Okay, so if you scroll down, teacher, you would see that there are two words. So word one and word two, and there's an audio icon just below the headline. If you
Okay.
click it, you will hear a single English word, and you just have to answer the questions below on the chat box.
Mhm.
So I will just be waiting for the answers on the chat box. You don't have to say it out
Okay.
loud. You may begin now.
Forbidden. Forbidden.
What is the word? Spell it correctly. What does the word mean? Do not use time. Create your own sentence. Ah, okay. Uh-huh. Forbidden. Forbidden. And then what's the next question? What does the word mean? Ah, okay. Something like allowed. Something like that. We are. Okay, I am forbidden to go out during this time of famine. Actually, I'm not forbidden. I'm forbidden to go out actually during this time.
It's okay.
We
It's
have a
okay.
curfew. Okay, number two.
Procedure. Procedure.
Click the. Okay, what is the word? Procedure. Procedure. And then what was that again? The meaning of the word is something like a method. Uh, okay, the it. Okay, this one. Procedure is um, difficult.
Is it? Is it really?
No, it's not difficult.
The time is difficult. Yeah. Anyway, that would be a teacher Geo. So everything that we have done in the last
Mm-hmm.
recent minutes, yeah, it will just be evaluated. And if you proceed to the next step, which is the training and the demo class, of course, we will be sending you an email in 2 to 3 business days. So just check your email from time to time.
Okay.
And
Oh,
yeah,
I'm so
again,
excited. Please
thank
accept
you.
me. I'm so excited.
Thank you for participating. Yeah, it's also very good to actually interview people with a lot of experience. It's also enlightening to me. So thank you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you
And
too.
yeah, thank you for participating, even though it's already late at night.
Okay, I'm
And
fine with it. Yeah,
yeah,
I
nice
sleep
to
late.
meet you, Teacher Gio, and stay safe in
Yes,
Davao.
thank you. You too.
Okay,
Take care. Bye
thank you very
bye.
much. Bye bye.